It's Halloween time. Let's read something spooky. Hello friends, this is Meenu. Welcome back to my channel Storytale. This week is Halloween, so I thought why not pick up something scary. It will match with the theme of the season and it will be really interesting to check out something horror. I remember the first book that I picked up as an ebook was a horror book, and it was 10 years ago, so I do not remember the title or the author of the book. All I can recall was that it was about this family who moves into a new town, and soon they realizes that nobody in the neighborhood is actually alive. It was actually a ghost town, and after that they try to survive and get quickly out of the town, and that is all that I can remember, nothing else. It was so long ago, and I've been trying so much to actually search for it, and I'm not able to find it. I've been trying to read this book for so long because I loved it the first time, and after that my love for ebooks actually began. So if you have any idea what book I'm talking about, do let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to read it again and tell you what I feel about it and share the experience once again with you. So without wasting any more time, let's get into the video and see what I picked up for the Halloween week. So the first book that I picked up for my Halloween read is The Companion by Katie Alender. In this book, we meet this girl named Margot who just met with an accident where everyone of her family died except for her. She's considered kind of lucky by everyone in the orphanage because she does have her own room, even though they never realize she has it because she has nightmare and she wakes up screaming in the middle of the night. She is also considered lucky because a very rich family has decided to adopt her, but of course everything is not as it seems. It's a horror book, so it cannot be as simple as that. On the surface it does seem like the Suttons are very kind and they have adopted her because John Sutton, who kinds of feel obligated to adopt her because her father actually saved his life a very long time ago, and he kinds of think he owes him, so he decides to adopt her into his family. At first, of course, Margot felt very grateful because they have decided to adopt her because she does not have anybody else in her life. She didn't like it in her group home and she really wanted a place to call her own. But what she doesn't realize is that the only reason that they have adopted her is because she needed to be companion to their silent daughter who has been sick for a very long time, and her psychiatrist has actually told the parents to adopt someone who can act as her companion. Hence the title. Agatha, the daughter of the family, has been very sick for a very long time. She does not talk, she only watches everything, and she does reads but does not show any kind of emotion whatsoever. And at first Margot was kind of wary of her. She was kind of creeped out, but sooner she makes kind of a kinship with her, she realized that Agatha is not so bad and she kinds of like her company. Margot also enjoys the company of Agatha's mother Laura. She loves gardening with her, she loves spending time with her, and she's also very grateful that after moving to the mansion she does not have nightmares anymore and she is not waking in the middle of the night screaming. Everything was going great, everything was running smoothly until of course the secrets start to unravel. Now let's talk about what I thought of the book. This book is seriously messed up, and I mean it in a good way. This was so creepy. I was like creeped out like every page of the book. It was so intense and I loved reading it. It has the perfect Halloween theme. It is very spooky and it is very eerie, especially the character Agatha. She kind of creeps me out. I mean, at first she just acted like a zombie. She was not talking, she was not communicating, and she just appears in the middle of the night looming over Margot and just standing and watching her, and those scenes kind of creeped me out, and I loved that. I loved feeling that way. And even the house, it was in the middle of nowhere and there was no communication to be had with the human world. There was no internet, there was no telephones, and there was no one else around, so it did have a creepy feeling to it. I mean, it did have red flags. I mean, Margot should have known, right? And let's not talk about Agatha's mother, Laura. I think she was the mother from the movie Get Out. I mean, the girl's mother. She has just the creepy vibe. With each page, you uncover a new truth, you uncover a new secret, and that is what keeps you hooked to the book. There's also a romance in the mix between Margot and Agatha's older brother, Barrett. I really enjoyed it. It was sweet. But for me, it did not added anything to the story. I mean, it was not useful in any way, and even in the end Barrett was not even there, so he didn't add anything to the story. Even Agatha's father John, he was just not there, he was never around, and I don't know, he never realized that something wrong was going in the house. I mean, that is just unbelievable. I mean, Margot lived for like 2 or 3 weeks in the house and she uncovered the truth, but Agatha's father could not. I don't know. The men in this book has really no role whatsoever. They were just there for, I don't understand why. They were just there for being there, I guess. There's also an issue with the ending. I was kind of a little bit disappointed because it was not the kind of ending that I wanted. I mean, I eventually realized that that is gonna be end, but still I think it needed more clarification. It needed to be elaborated a little bit more. It was a short book, so it could have done with more 2 or 3 pages, right? So I think the reason and the motive should have been elaborated more. Even there's an element of ghost there, and that was not explored well either. There were also so many questions that were left unanswered. So I think ending needed to be a little bit better in this book. Nonetheless, I really enjoyed the book and I had a great time reading it. It was a perfect book for a Halloween week. I love the spookiness, I love the eeriness, I loved everything about it. So I'm giving it 3.5 stars because I do wanted to give it 4, but I deducted the half for the ending. Other than that, I think this is something that you should read on the Halloween day and you're really gonna enjoy it. So the other book that I picked up for the Halloween week was Watch Over Me by Nina LaCour. This was a very different book from the first book. It did have the same creepiness, but the theme of this book was very different. It dealt with loss, grief, loneliness, and one acceptance of its past. There are elements of ghosts in it, but still it is very different from the first book and it is not your normal horror book. Our main character here is Mila, who has been living in the foster care system, and of course she has outgrown it and she needs a new place. So when a job opportunity comes to go to this farm and have a place to stay there, she takes it without thinking much. This farm is very famous and they have adopted many kids over the years. This is also a safe haven for all the lost souls and also are haunted by the ghosts. But that does not seem to bother Mila because all her life she has been able to see ghosts too, and the ghosts that she meets on the farm are actually kind of harmless. All they do is dance and play around and try to impress the human that they are connected to. Mila had lived a very lonely life. Her father died when she was very young. Her stepfather was not good, and even her mother left her to go nobody knows where. So she was very grateful to find the company of such amazing people who are very kind to her, who are very helpful, and she connected with them, especially with this child named Lee, who has his own trauma to deal with, and in that trauma both of them found a common ground. They both sympathized with each other, they both connected. She feels a motherly love towards him and wants to help him deal with his trauma while also dealing with her own. Even though she finds a safe haven in the farm, somehow her past memories and her troubled past seem to resurface, and they have actually turned from memories to reality. The pain that she felt and all the injuries that she incurred when she was a kid somehow started to resurface on her skin, and she felt the same pain that she did when all those things happened in her past. Soon it became very difficult for her to differentiate between the reality and a hallucination. Maybe it is all too good to be true. Now let's talk about what I thought of the book. I think this book was very different, and even though there's a part of me thinks that it was not a perfect book, still there's another part of me which actually liked it. I like the theme of it. It is more psychological. It is more about dealing with your past, dealing with the traumas of your life. It does have ghosts in it, but it's not scary. It is creepy in bits and pieces, but not that spooky. It is more about self-realization. It is more about dealing with your grief, with your pain. It's a very sad book and you feel connected to Mila. You felt her loneliness, even the child Lee, the trauma that both of the characters survived, and how the farm helps them overcome such grief and such pain is the theme of the book. Like I said, this book is different from the first book and it does have ghosts, but it's not scary, and it makes you think about the characters, make you think about yourself and think about your past. So it can be a trigger for many people, and that is something I want to warn you, because if you find these things triggering, then I think you should stay away from it. But other than that, for a Halloween read, I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say that I loved it, but I did like it. And because there are certain issues with this book, especially with the other characters, even the farm, it was not explored well. The other characters were not flushed out well. So other characters I did not connect with. There was only 2 characters that I connected with, and that is all. It was a very short read, so it was very difficult for me to connect with everything else except for Mila and Lee. Leaving that, I think it was an amazing read for the Halloween. It does match with the theme. It is a different kind of scary, but it is scary. I mean, real life trauma are more scary than the ghosts and zombies, I think. Anyway, I enjoyed this book, so I'm gonna give it again 3.5 stars, because even though I liked it, I didn't love it. And that's it, guys. That is for the Halloween read of the week, and I really enjoyed it. I loved doing a video related to a theme, and I'm actually looking forward to the Christmas theme in December. I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna read more of the books, not one or two, but maybe I'll try to read 5. I'll try. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it because I do have a very busy schedule, but I will try. Until then, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and happy Halloween.